And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered in multiple ways. Alrighty, today's a big old Saturday, folks. And today on the show, breaking down the NBA from last night. Once again, getting right back into the swing of the NBA season. Love it. And once again, we did very, very well with our picks last night. So these last 2 days since the resumption of the second half of the NBA season, we are 9 of 13 in our picks, folks. Finger on the pulse, picking up exactly where we left off at the front part of the season and cashing in while we are doing so, folks. So absolutely fantastic. So, breaking down the NBA from yesterday, making our picks, talking the lines for tonight's action, and we have a game coming up at 12:10, and we are going to make our official pick, so let's get that out of the way quickly. We got the Celtics at the Pistons here. Celtics -12, Pistons +12. This has been climbing all day, folks. Early morning, this has been climbing all day. I want to say I woke up at maybe about 8 o'clock, and I saw this at like Celtics -10, and now it's all the way up to Celtics -12, and right before we went live it was at Celtics -12.5, so coming down a little bit here, but I am loving this Celtics team, folks. Celtics -12. This is going to be our live bet, our live in-show bet. I've already taken this before we went live, folks. I caught it at 12.5, so hopefully, we can do 13, hopefully. But, yeah, we absolutely love this Celtics team. Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, absolutely fantastic. Robert Williams getting it done. And then having Derek White off the bench, folks, is the key to this Celtics team overall. They've been getting it done defensively. This is what the Knicks want to be. This is what the Knicks are thriving to be, this Celtics team. Good defense, closing out games in the fourth quarter. And we just saw the Knicks last night do the exact opposite, not able to close out games in the second half in the fourth quarter like we've seen all year long. So we do have a special announcement when we get back to that, when we do break down the NBA and get to that Knicks game, but we will save it for there. But for right now, you got 7 more minutes to bet on this game. Tips off at 12:10. Celtics -12, folks, is what we're going with. Now, Pistons. Jeremy Grant, they got the win on their first game back, looking pretty solid. I do like some pieces on this Pistons team, but overall, this Celtics team, they are kind of in that upper echelon tier of great teams currently in the NBA. We've got to give so much respect to the Celtics team, folks. Collectively, in the national media, everybody slept on the Celtics. Once again, we are a week ahead of the national media, so watch out for next week of everybody praising this Celtics team. This is a real deal team. Once again, shout out to Ime Udoka, the head coach of the Celtics. I mean, he's really got this team rolling. They were kind of, not great in the first part of the season, first 2-3 weeks. Maybe we're building the foundation, what we don't love to hear, but at the end of the day, it is working here for the Celtics team, getting better as the season progresses. Just blew out the Nets, no problem, in their first game back, and now they've got this Pistons team that we know overall is lackluster. Yes, they can beat the easier teams, the worser teams in this league, but I think the Celtics defense is going to be able to clamp up all game long. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they do their thing. Marcus Smart does his thing, and then we got Derek White just filling in, coming off the bench. So, loving this Celtics team. We're going to swallow 12 here, and we'll be tracking this and updating this and looking at what's happening in this game all throughout the show. So our live in show during show bet here, Celtics -12. Let's go C's. Love the Celtics team. And where do we got them in our power rankings so far? Currently number 8 in our power rankings. And once again, we are re-updating this every Thursday. So we've got that first game taken into account. Now let's see what this other game is, because if you go out here and blow out this Pistons team, yeah, we can probably move this Celtics team up maybe a spot or two come next Thursday. So that is what we've got. Game tipping off in 5 minutes. Love this Celtics team, and can't wait to see what they show us today. Once again, I'll be on Twitter throughout the show, obviously. So we will watch any clips, highlights that ESPN, SportsCenter, whoever is posting them. We will watch them and talk through them because we all need to truly see what this Celtics team is on the floor. You need to watch the Celtics team. That's your homework. Watch the Celtics, okay? Not right now during the show, but after the show, you go back and watch the Celtics because they are absolutely fantastic. So that's what we've got on the show today, folks. And we will see if we can get to our NFL team refresher as well. Not team refresher. NFL final thoughts on the season for every single team. Once again, just want to jot down our final thoughts. So during the long off season and with everybody with their revisionist history, we keep true of what actually occurred this season, so we can, kind of reference it at the start of next season and all that, so we can kind of be like, all right, this is what they were at the end of this season. Are they getting better? All that. Are they regressing? But we just want to have everything on the record written down. So we'll see if we can get to that today. Probably can, but you never know on the show. So, with all that being said, let's kick off the show. And before we get to the NBA, let's quickly go over some NFL stories from last night. So, here we go. The first big one here, we get, and I don't know, this is good. I would not have this man on my team at all, but this is what the Chiefs are doing. The Chiefs are hiring Matt Nagy for their senior assistant / quarterbacks coach. Now, he was the Chiefs' quarterbacks coach, co-offensive coordinator, and then he was the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator in his final year there in 2017. But from 2013 to 2017, Matt Nagy was with the Chiefs as kind of their quarterbacks coach, and then that's when, he got the head coach for the Chicago Bears and never did anything good, got worse every single year in Chicago. So not great by Matt Nagy. We know the man is definitely not a head coach, and when you're looking at kind of just the Chiefs overall, Matt Nagy left in 2017. Patrick Mahomes came in 2018, and that's when everything really changed for the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been, ever since Patrick Mahomes has gotten into the NFL starting for this Chiefs team, Patrick Mahomes has made it to the conference championship at minimum. He's gotten to the conference championship year one, lost it to the Patriots. Then he won the Super Bowl the following year. Then he lost the Super Bowl the following year after that. And then just this season, once again, get to the AFC championship game, but just can't win it. So, no Matt Nagy in this Chiefs team has big-time success. With Matt Nagy and Alex Smith, with Andy Reid, they only win one playoff game. I mean, come on. Do y'all see what Matt Nagy's going to do to this Chiefs team? He's going to ruin it. He ruined the Chicago Bears. He ruined Mitch Trubisky. He ruined Justin Fields already. He held Andy Dalton. Well, Andy Dalton wasn't good. Andy Dalton was trying to have kind of his resurgence. Hey, let me try to go out with a bang here. And Matt Nagy couldn't really complement that. And then made Nick Foles a third-string quarterback. Usually we know Nick Foles as kind of like a second-string quarterback, but the way that Matt Nagy was using Nick Foles, he was a third string, looked like a third stringer out there. So Matt Nagy, every single quarterback that he touches just instantly turns to garbage. Now, we know Patrick Mahomes is fantastic, but we get Matt Nagy in his ear now. That's not good. Luckily for the Chiefs, they brought back Eric Bieniemy, because if you got rid of Eric Bieniemy and then brought in Matt Nagy, I don't think we like this Chiefs team at all going into next year, especially with all the great talent in the AFC, the Chargers, the Bengals, the Bills, and potentially the Ravens, potentially the Dolphins. So there's a ton, and look at the Raiders now. I mean, the Raiders are supposed to be pretty solid. They got, Josh McDaniels, so that should be good at minimum. So there's so much talent here in the AFC, and now you bring in Matt Nagy. I know he's got history, but he literally did nothing with this Chiefs team. They had Alex Smith, and they were always solid, but they only won one playoff game. Come on, we know this Chiefs team is not after regular season accolades or just a first round, playoff game. They have Super Bowl aspirations as long as they have Patrick Mahomes on that team. It is Super Bowl or bust every single year for the Chiefs, where Matt Nagy has no idea what a Super Bowl is, folks. I don't even think he's allowed to watch the Super Bowl. That's how bad of a coach he is. I think the NFL is like, hey, you can't even watch the Super Bowl. You shouldn't even know what the Super Bowl is, because you will never get to experience that as a they coach. It's unfortunate, but that's kind of what we saw with Matt Nagy with the Bears. This man is just nothing special, nothing great, but he'll be like Adam Gase, most likely, where, he's working with Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes is just so gosh dang great, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time already, and then Matt Nagy kind of, piggybacks off that accomplishment, exactly like Adam Gase did with Peyton Manning, so I don't love it, but I guess you just needed a body. I don't think Matt Nagy is really going to have that much influence overall on this Chiefs team, but he will get the credit for their success. So let's all relax on Matt Nagy 3, 4, 5 years down the line where the Chiefs are, continuing doing their thing, winning throughout the regular season, getting to at least kind of the divisional championship rounds every single season, potentially a Super Bowl here and there, and then Matt Nagy is going to get all that accolades and all that kind of credit for it, and then we get him at another head coaching spot that he flounders in. So let's just kind of remember what Matt Nagy is, folks. He's not that great of a head coach. He's an okay coach overall, okay? Nothing special, and hopefully he does not hinder this Chiefs team. And literally the biggest thing for the Chiefs this season was keeping Eric Bieniemy. We know that he was obviously a potential head coaching candidate. We said yesterday on the show they are officially bringing him back as their offensive coordinator, but now having Matt Nagy in his ear, does he kind of, ruin Eric Bieniemy? Does he ruin Patrick Mahomes? So if anything looks a miss next season with this Chiefs team, we know it's Matt Nagy. He's going to have his fingerprints all over it. So Matt Nagy to the Chiefs, back to the Chiefs. Alrighty, we'll see how that works out. Wasn't that good the first time around. Got some wins in the regular season, but the Chiefs have moved past that. Matt Nagy would still be happy about wins in the regular season coming from Chicago. He'd be like, all right, 10-win season. That was a great year. And Patrick Mahomes is looking at him like, are you out of your mind? Who is this dude? Who's the guy smoking crack in the corner? What's his name, Matt Nagy? I've never heard of him. He was here before I got here? Oh. Actually, I think Patrick Mahomes was on the bench Matt Nagy's last year with the Chiefs. So I think they know each other a little bit. So he's like, this guy's back? Y'all brought this guy back? He's celebrating a 10-win season. He think that's good. We're not even in the playoffs, and this man's celebrating. The man is smoking crack in the corner. Would y'all look at this man? He's smoking crack in the corner. Celebrating a 10. He's got a party hat. He's got party favors, folks. His man's celebrating a 10-win team. Does this man not know that we just got the back-to-back Super Bowls? 10 wins, this man's celebrating? So, we'll see, folks. Hopefully Matt Nagy doesn't ruin this Chiefs team. I don't think he can, because we know Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy are that great, and Tyreek Hill is that great. But we'll see what kind of changes, what Matt Nagy brings to this team. But I don't know if I would expect a Chiefs Super Bowl anytime soon, a Super Bowl win anytime soon with Matt Nagy on the team. A little bit of a curse maybe, I don't know. But Matt Nagy to the Chiefs as a senior assistant / quarterbacks coach. You don't need to coach Patrick Mahomes. He's good already. He doesn't need any more coaching. So Matt Nagy, just do the minimum. Do what has already been in place. Listen to Patrick Mahomes. It really should be Patrick Mahomes coaching Matt Nagy. So Matt Nagy, keep those ears open when you're next to Patrick Mahomes, because he could teach you a thing or two, because we saw what you did with Mitch Trubisky, Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, Nick Foles. Nothing good. Nothing good at all, really. So there it is, folks. Matt Nagy back in the NFL as the Chiefs senior assistant / quarterbacks coach. All right, next story up here, and this is fantastic news. We like Sean McVay. We don't love him as a play caller. That's probably the biggest knock that we have on Sean McVay, is that he's not the best play caller. He's an okay play caller. He's gotten the job done, so we can't knock it too much. Man won a Super Bowl. We just don't love it overall. But we love this man as a coach, offensive mind, guru, outside the box thinker, motivator. Love it, love it, love it. Love everything about Sean McVay besides the play calling, and that's just, we like it, we just don't love it. So we love Sean McVay as a coach overall. I would kind of model, if I was a head coach in the league, I would model it after Sean McVay, honestly. So we want him to still be the head coach of the Rams, a head coach in the league, and all that. We knew kind of the week, like the days leading up to the Super Bowl, real weird timing. We even heard kind of Colin Cowherd kind of comment about it. Hey, things get leaked for a reason. Who's the benefit? Kind of implying that Sean McVay wants a little bit of a bigger deal, a new contract with the Rams, which seems like he's getting. Seems like Sean McVay is going to get a new contract maybe in the next couple of weeks here, probably sooner rather than later. Like we just saw Zach Taylor, the head coach for the Bengals, he just got a contract extension for getting to the Super Bowl, which is truly deserved. So Sean McVay may be leaking that story. Hey, I may go to the media. I may just go in the booth, be an analyst because they'll pay me. So maybe Colin Cowherd was right. He leaked this story, be like, hey, I'm out of here. I'm going to retire. I know I'm going to win the Super Bowl, and I'm just going to retire out on top of it because I'm going to get paid in the TV booth. So, yeah, that could potentially happen. But now that is kind of officially squashed. We get Sean McVay kind of confirming he's going back to the Rams for the next season. Once again, seeming like he's going to get a contract extension. So, love that we're not losing Sean McVay from the coaching world. We need coaches like Sean McVay in the league. Everybody should be striving to find the next Sean McVay as a head coach, honestly. Genius, offensive-minded, and he coaches, and he doesn't put anybody down like Urban Meyer does, and he uplifts quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford, his biggest supporter, right there, behind Matthew Stafford every step of the way to a Super Bowl. This needs to be praised more, folks. If you are not, like Matt Nagy, please, look at Sean McVay and do everything that he does. That's what you should be doing, Matt Nagy, okay? So, Sean McVay going to be returning to coaching, not going into the booth, but it was going to get pretty close here, folks, because Sean McVay was having a meeting with Amazon next week where Amazon was kind of ready to go 5-year, $100 million. And we know Amazon is kind of the new Thursday Night Football. I think Fox has lost that. I think that's why, Troy Aikman and Joe Buck are looking to leave Fox and go to ESPN, which I don't think is the right move. I don't know why anybody would want to go to ESPN, honestly. That Monday Night Football would be the worst job to have. Obviously, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, if they were together, they could make it work. I do like that announcing duo. But overall, ESPN, that's just a garbage company overall. And Monday Night Football, for the broadcast that they've had for the last 10 years have really been bad. Ever since John Gruden left, it's really been awful, almost unwatchable, unlistenable, honestly. That's why they had Peyton Manning and Eli Manning doing their broadcast, because they're like, nobody's listening to these three guys in the booth, and no disrespect to them, but they weren't the greatest overall. When we're ranking football announcers from CBS of Tony Romo, the man's fantastic. We even get NBC, and now they're trying to do Drew Brees in the booth for NBC. Please don't do that. Once again, no disrespect to these people, but sometimes that's just not your calling. Broadcast or sports analysis or sports talk is just not your calling. Like Drew Brees, I don't like him at the desk. I don't like him in the booth. Tony Romo's great. Joe Buck's great. Joe Buck is so great, folks. Troy Aikman's pretty solid, really great. I would count him as great. So, when we're looking at, ESPN, I mean, the current, what they have, I mean, they're like the worst, no disrespect, but they are the worst of all the football broadcasters that there are. So, yeah, what was our thought on that? I think I circled around too much. But Sean McVay not going to the booth for Thursday Night Football, looking to pay him 5 years, $100 million. But once again, the Rams are going to kind of probably offer him a bigger contract here, getting more money. Sean McVay loves the coach, so I never really got him going into the booth. I don't know if Sean McVay is kind of seeing potential, the future landscape of the NFL where he may not be able to kind of win. Maybe he knows his play calling isn't the best. Maybe that's why he was kind of looking for a little bit to get in the broadcasting booth. But this man is just a coach. When I look at this man, I just see coach written all over his face. I mean, this man is the true definition of a coach to a T, folks. So love that we're getting Sean McVay back. He's not going to go into broadcasting just quite quite yet. Now, at the end of his coaching career, I would love to hear this man in the booth, absolutely, from his insight, his perspective, what he would do, and just how he feels about the game overall. I could listen to this man talk for, hours on end. Honestly, the man has knowledge. The man, literally everything that I kind of, hold true, near, dear to my heart, competition-wise, sportsmanship-wise, competitiveness-wise. Sean McVay embodies everything that I stand for, honestly. So, big time shout out to Sean McVay, a fantastic, wonderful coach, not ready to leave coaching the Rams, and you got to defend your Super Bowl champion. You can't win the Super Bowl and then not defend it. I get Peyton Manning riding off into the sunset because the arm was going to fall off the next year anyway. There was no chance to defend it, but if you're defending Super Bowl champions and you are still able-bodied, able-minded, you need to go out and defend that. That's like the biggest thing you can do in sports is kind of like repeat champions. That proves dominance, and that kind of solidifies like not an overall kind of traditional dynasty where it's like more than a few seasons, but that cements yourself in a little mini dynasty. Is what word can we use for like a mini dynasty? I don't want the true impact of the word dynasty, but going back to back, repeating, whatever it is, that's really, it's mini dynasty. It's literally mini dynasty. Let me see. Let's go to our handy dandy thesaurus here. Love using this thesaurus. Let's see if we can get any other word for dynasty. We got bloodline, lineage, house, family, ancestry. Descent, extraction, succession, genealogy. See, this is not really the dynasty we're looking for. An empire. Empire seems way more than a dynasty. A reign. Yeah, that's like a 2-year reign. That's like a 2-year reign. A really good 2-year reign. I think we're good with that. I'd be cool to call it a dynasty too. 2-year reign, 2-year dynasty, whatever you want to call it. Repeating, got to get it done. So we'll see if Sean McVay can tackle that. That's kind of the next accolade for Sean McVay. He's got the ring. He's proven his wins. He's proven his kind of intellect offensively. But now, can he go back to back? Can he be competitive back to back? Can he continue to kind of be in this kind of, NFC championship game / Super Bowl every single season? So that's kind of the next benchmark on Sean McVay's overall coaching legacy, if you will. What does he do the season after winning the Super Bowl? Is it as good? Is it a little bit of a step back? Is it greater? Is it another Super Bowl win? Is it a repeat? We'll see what he has, but the biggest thing is that we get to see what he has because the man is not going into the broadcasting booth just quite yet. Absolutely fantastic, Sean McVay. We absolutely love it. Alrighty, here we go. Next story up here. We get Derek Carr talking about Josh McDaniels, the new head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, we haven't really heard anything great about Josh McDaniels from the players. Everyone kind of seemed to want Rich Bisaccia back, which we kind of agreed with as well. But, I'm sure they're going to warm up to Josh McDaniels. It's a long off season, time to get accustomed to him. I'm sure firing Rich Bisaccia kind of stung instantly for all the players there with the Raiders, but I think they'll be able to kind of get over it a little bit, and I don't think the players on this Raiders team are going to overall resent Josh McDaniels. I don't really see that happening, especially when you have Derek Carr on board, who is the true leader of this Raiders team on the field, off the field. So we get Raiders quarterback Derek Carr on new head coach Josh McDaniels and general manager Dave Ziegler saying, quote, they've been great. So let's see what Derek Carr has to say about these new additions here, coaching-wise, general manager-wise, and see if you can win Derek Carr over. That's going to be the easiest way to win the entire team over. So Josh McDaniels, we know he's offensive-minded, so he's already going to be kind of, buddy-buddy with Derek Carr, but get to Derek Carr quick so we can kind of, squash the little tensions that already are in the Raiders locker room of not having Rich Bisaccia there. So let's see what Derek Carr is saying here. Let's read the first lead up. We got about 2 quotes here, so we can go through this quickly, but let's read the first lead up here. So here we go. Carr spoke publicly on Friday for the first time since McDaniels was hired last month as the Raiders' new head coach. And Carr said he's, quote, looking forward to getting to know McDaniels and general manager Dave Ziegler more as the offseason progresses, saying, quote, They've been super awesome. They've been great. I'm just looking forward to getting to know them. We're doing the whole business relationship thing, but hopefully we get our families together and start getting to know each other and start building that unity that we had last year. Exactly that. They had a unity with Rich Bisaccia. That's why we never wanted the Raiders to fire Rich Bisaccia. The man really did the best he honestly could for what he was given for every single circumstance surrounding the Raiders. Rich Bisaccia got them into the playoffs, had their heads, on right, heading into those big games, even though with the John Gruden distraction, everybody getting drunk and driving distraction, everybody showing guns with the Raiders distraction. He was able to overcome all of that, and the team truly bonded over that. That's a bonding season right there for this Raiders team, and you just blew it up just to get Josh McDaniels, who's proven to be a little bit flaky. Oh, I'll take the Colts job. Oh no, I go back to the Patriots for a few more years. I know Josh McDaniels is a great mind overall offensively. We're not knocking him, but overall, you've got a tight-knit group. That Josh McDaniels now coming in, taking over that tight-knit group, and he has proven to be a little flaky. That could show cracks of the tight bondness that the Raiders already had, and we've already seen that the players were speaking out when Rich Bisaccia got fired. So we don't love the overall beginning off season for this Raiders team. This is why we're saying you need to treat and get in the ear of Derek Carr so Derek Carr can win over the locker room for Josh McDaniels. That's really going to be the only way Josh McDaniels gets true respect of the locker room. If he gets Derek Carr and then Derek Carr starts to kind of, speak up and speak out for Josh McDaniels in the locker room to the players. So, right here, Derek Carr saying, hey, I kind of want to, I'm cool with the business relationship and everything like that, but I kind of want to get the families together, and I want to have a tight unit here. So, Josh McDaniels, you better listen to this. You better get your wife. You've got kids. I don't even know Josh McDaniels' family, but whatever family you got, you go over to Derek Carr's house right now, unannounced, surprising, showing up with meals, dishes. You got to cook. Josh McDaniels, you got to cook and bring over some good food for Derek Carr and win over his family. Win over Derek Carr. This is what you must do. So Josh McDaniels, I truly hope you're listening to what your quarterback is saying out here, because he's got his finger on the pulse of this Raiders locker room where you really don't, Josh McDaniels. So please, Josh McDaniels, be nice to Derek Carr and really give him everything that he wants, or you're not going to make it here with this Raiders team. Obviously, Josh McDaniels, big pressure on his shoulders coming from the Belichick coaching tree. Not a lot of coaches have had success coming from the Bill Belichick coaching tree. Josh McDaniels, offensive guy, wants to kind of prove, hey, yeah, Bill had, a huge part of the Patriots dynasty, absolutely, but so did I. Yeah, Bill took care of the defense, but I was the entire brains behind that entire offense every year I was there. So we know Josh McDaniels wants to prove himself, but if you don't have the support of the locker room, you're not going to be able to prove anything. So Josh McDaniels, a true test of what he is as a head coach. Does he just keep it strictly business, doing kind of like the Bill Belichick thing, a little bit of a cold shoulder for the most part, or does he kind of go to the Sean McVay route, talking up and gushing and clamoring over your quarterback every second of the day, winning them over, because we just saw that win a chip. So Josh McDaniels, this is really, up to you whether the Raiders have success or not. It's how you treat this locker room, because they already really don't love you because they love the other head coach. Let's see what Josh McDaniels does here. So it's really going to depend on Josh McDaniels whether this Raiders team is good or not. We know Derek Carr can play. We know they've got players all over the field that can play. They got to the playoffs this season. Fantastic. Winning some games. Derek Carr has got an unbelievable arm, folks. His stats are honestly, top echelon of the league stats. So we know they can play, but can they be coached? We'll see. All right, final quote here by Derek Carr. Let's read the last lead up here. Here we go. Carr is under the final year of a 5-year, $125 million contract signed in 2017, and Rappaport previously noted a strong short-term deal could be a potential outcome of contract talks. Carr declined to discuss Friday the current state of negotiations, but he did acknowledge the balance between obtaining a top-of-the-line deal and one that would allow the Raiders to acquire other players. It's no secret Carr would like to play with former college teammate Davante Adams, who is in the middle of his own contract talks with the Packers, saying, quote, obviously that's in mind when I'm talking about all that, but there's also some football players that I want to play with, so I keep that in mind too. So once again, Derek Carr, the good guy. Hey, I'm cool to take a pay cut if we're going to get guaranteed great talent. So, like Davante Adams, who they played with in college together, fantastic. And once again, I really want to see Derek Carr with Davante Adams so everybody can kind of get over Aaron Rodgers being so gosh dang great a little bit. It's obviously not going to be that much of an eclipse if Derek Carr has success with Davante Adams, but at the same time, it's like, hey, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is great, don't get us wrong, but is he as great as everybody says? Maybe. Obviously, there's the debate there. So, Josh McDaniels, it's all on you, man. It's all on you. Go get it done. So, we'll see how that goes. But that's what Derek Carr has to say quickly here. They've been great, and he wants their family over for dinner, really. So, we'll see how close Josh McDaniels gets with the Derek Carr and the entire locker room and roster here of this Raiders team. But it's going to depend on him whether they sink or swim this season. Alrighty, and then the last story up here, going back to Aaron Rodgers and, what we said yesterday on the show, him wanting to be kind of, the highest paid quarterback, and, we were talking about Greg Jennings going on, the media and kind of saying, hey, Aaron Rodgers being selfish. He told me not to be that guy, and now he's turned into the guy and all that. And once again, this is what we said yesterday. We prefaced it by saying, hey, we don't have the audio of Aaron Rodgers saying this. This is just a report and all this. So Pat McAfee, yesterday on his show, he said he talked to Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers said it was, quote, categorically false about him wanting to be the highest paid NFL player. Once again, using the words categorically false, folks. Once again, using words, using language, and, what else? What have we just seen? Who have we just seen use the same exact term, categorically false, folks? Well, we just heard that from the Miami Dolphins about the whole Brian Flores situation. Once again, the official statement from the Miami Dolphins saying, quote, this latest assertion by Brian Flores that Stephen Ross mentioned an NDA to him is categorically false. And we kind of know that's not categorically false. We kind of read what the contract with that final kind of thing Stephen Ross wanted Brian Flores to sign after he got fired to get the remainder of the money that was owed to him under contract. Now, you only get that money if you sign it. Brian Flores did not sign it, so we didn't get the rest of that money. But that's really not categorically false. We read the document on the show. That's kind of exactly what it was, an NDA. So the Dolphins saying, hey, that's kind of categorically false, and that's really not true. And now we get Aaron Rodgers because he's getting knocked in the national media, knocked by everybody for being kind of, quote, selfish and wanting to be kind of the highest paid player. Now, he's not getting knocked by everybody. Everybody's bringing up, oh, he's the two-time back-to-back MVP, so of course he should be the highest paid player, which we know is flawed from the get-go because man should have never won MVP this season to begin with. So stop using that argument. The man's not a back-to-back MVP-er. He's a one-time MVP from last season, yes, but he shouldn't have won it this year, so I'm not even giving him credit for MVP. I don't care that he's won the award and they voted on it. He's not the MVP. He's truly not the MVP. Tom Brady's the MVP and Matt LaFleur's coach of the year. So any way you slice it, Aaron Rodgers should get no credit for the success of the Packers last season, and I stand on that case. But back to Aaron Rodgers saying, quote, it's categorically false. Once again, you can say whatever you want here because, it's just a rumor, it's a source, it's a story, it's all that. So maybe Aaron Rodgers is telling the truth here. We'll never know because, first of all, we'll just never know because that's how it all goes. And second of all, we're dealing with Aaron Rodgers, so we'll never get the straight up truth from him regardless of what happens. So Aaron Rodgers saying, quote, it's categorically false. The Dolphins saying it's, quote, categorically false. So, when you go that above and beyond to say, no, that's not just false. Aaron Rodgers could just say, no, no, that's a lie. Absolutely not. I didn't say that. But when you go categorically false, of course it's not true. Using that kind of strong defending language to defend yourself, going above and beyond, they always say, you can spot a lie by how specific they get. be like, if you're, getting out of the house, you don't want to tell your wife of where you're going, and your wife's like, hey, where'd you go? And you'd be like, well, I went to the store to grab some milk, but then the milk was only 99 cents. And so I was like, isn't this cheap for milk? Shouldn't it be more expensive? So I had to, check with the back and the manager, and they told me, no, this was the price. And then I went back to the computers because I still didn't believe them. And I rung it up and I checked the database, and it was true. The milk was only 99 cents. And then I got to the eggs, and the eggs were $4. I was like, no, these are overpriced. So once again, I had to go to the checkout and the manager to be like, aren't these overpriced? And then they told me they weren't. And then I had to check the database again. So, when you add more information than is asked about, something that usually kind of, it not always, obviously, but it usually indicates maybe you're kind of, stretching the truth a little bit here. So maybe this is what we're getting with Aaron Rodgers. Maybe it's not. Maybe he truly does not want to be the highest paid quarterback of all time or currently. We'll know when he makes up his mind. So if Aaron Rodgers signs a big old deal, we know that his categorically false statement was, quote, categorically false. But if he doesn't, if he takes a pay cut, only gets penny on the dollars for his contract this season, then we know it is categorically false. But we are going to hold him to these words, categorically false, and we'll know by the contract that he gets wherever he goes, if he stays with the Packers, if he goes to another team here. So Aaron Rodgers, you want to say, you're so honest and you always speak the truth and you don't play games with everybody. And once again, going back to his Instagram post of what was the exact wording? Something showing gratitude isn't cryptic. Once again, okay, Aaron Rodgers, him saying, hey, showing gratitude isn't cryptic. I was just showing gratitude. Okay, Aaron, saying, that he's telling the truth all the time here. So we're going to hold it up to, he's Honest Abe. He honestly kind of, shows himself, presents himself as Honest Abe. I cannot tell a lie. I am Honest Abe. I think I'm mixing George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, but that's what Aaron Rodgers kind of, shows himself as. Hey, I just speak the truth. I don't want, I'm not lying here. I'm just speaking from the heart. I don't have any agenda behind me, and I'm just cool as a cucumber living. All right, that's what Aaron Rodgers projects to everybody, but we're going to hold him to this. He's saying it's categorically false that he wants to be the highest paid NFL player currently in the NFL. So we'll see what the contract is. We'll see what his decision is. First of all, we'll see what money he gets from it, and we'll hold him to these words, categorically false. You better hope they are categorically false, or we're going to have a canvas that just says categorically false, staring Aaron Rodgers in the eye every single day that he watches the show. I know he watches the show. I know he does. Every single day. The man can't wait. Man can't get enough of us. I know he can't. So, Aaron Rodgers saying it's categorically false, the report that he wants to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. We'll see. We'll see, Aaron. All right, that is all the NFL stories I wanted to go over for today. So let's switch gears to the NBA. But before we do that, let's check in on our bet. A live game going on right now. Celtics at the Pistons. We secured Celtics -12 right before the game tipped off. So let's see what we've got here currently at the moment. Let's refresh this so we get the scores up here. And look at this big old lead for the Celtics. Yes. 5-point lead. Started the second quarter. Celtics are up 33-28. Love it. We got a -12, so 5-point lead so far. That's exactly what we want to see. 5 points for every quarter. Like we said, it's the start of the second quarter, so a +5 in the first quarter, +5 in the second, +5 in the third, +5 in the fourth, folks. That's a +20, and a 20 is more than -12, and that'd be a win. So we are right on track, folks, with our win. Respect the Celtics. They need so much more respect out here. Now, let's see. Do we have any early clips, early Twitter highlights from the Celtics playing? Is nobody talking about the Celtics playing basketball right now? What else can y'all be potentially talking about? Damn, y'all ain't got nothing? I can't see nothing from this game already? Come on, do I have to go search it? Do I have to go search the Celtics, folks? Will somebody show me a Celtics highlight so we can talk about it? I need to see Marcus Smart making a huge pass. Here we go. What do we got this? What is this highlight? Here we go. Jason Tatum driving to the hole. Yes, sir. And one. There it is. The true superstar of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, folks. They are so undervalued in, quote, the superstar discussion. These players are single-handedly uplifting this Celtics team over the last 2 years, folks. Man, oh man. So Jason Tatum, we all know, is absolutely fantastic. I want to see something from Marcus Smart. They got something from Marcus Smart. Let me see a Marcus Smart highlight, folks. Please, let me see a Marcus Smart highlight. What is this? What's this highlight? Here we go. We got Al Horford running the floor, passing it to Jason Tatum at midcourt. They're down 4 points here, and look at that feed. And Al Horford, once again, folks, the older bigs, the aging bigs are still getting it done. Did you see the pass here by Jason Tatum? First of all, fantastic. Look at Al Horford run the fake screen, slips down low into the paint, and now he's wide open, taking a little bit of contact from Kelly Olynyk, but able to finish over Kelly Olynyk. Bango, bango, easy peasy. Al Horford, shout out to him. Yes, man, oh man, this Celtics team, folks, you gotta respect it. Gotta give them so much more credit than what y'all have been giving them. No Marcus Smart highlights. Oh, look at this one. Oh, Marcus Smart was in that highlight of Jason Tatum. He was the one that made that initial pass. Look at that. Look at that. Give him the assist. I don't know. That may be too long for the man to get an assist. All right, last little highlight here. That's the same one. Everyone's showing this Jason Tatum highlight and one, which it's a good highlight. Don't get me wrong. We love Jason Tatum. I want to see a Marcus Smart highlight. What is this? Any Marcus Smart highlight? No? All right. We'll be waiting. We'll be back here, folks. We'll recheck it in a little bit. Do the Pistons just take the lead? Oh, no. Oh, no. The Pistons retook the lead now, 37-35. So the Celtics, you better get back on your bullshit here. Better lock it up defensively. Or are the Pistons truly kind of the real deal now? Are the Pistons turning a corner? 2-win streak, one right before the All-Star break, one right after the All-Star break? We'll see. Maybe we need to give this Pistons team a little bit more respect. I don't think so. I'm still believing in the Celtics. Still close out. That's what the Celtics are built for, playing an entire 4 quarters. They're not like the Knicks that fall off in the 4th quarter and early or late in the 3rd quarter. All right, Marcus Smart, go out on the floor. See, that's why they're losing, because we're getting no Marcus Smart highlights. Yes? Yes. All righty, so that is our current situation in the NBA. We get the Celtics down by 2 at the current moment. All right, now let's go to the NBA here, folks, and break down all the games from last night. We'll talk about betting tonight as well in the NBA to see what we've got besides the Celtics. Only the one early game. Everything else is at 7 o'clock. We got any early games on tomorrow? What do we got tomorrow-wise? Anything good tomorrow? I know I'm already looking ahead, but tomorrow we get a 1, a 3:30, and a 5. So a little bit of early games tomorrow on as well. So fantastic. All righty, here we go. NBA from last night. Let's break down the games. But before we break down the games from last night, folks, we have a big old special announcement to make. Remember, no more Kemba Walker for the New York Knicks, and that was a little bit out of the contract that I signed of our sponsorship with the New York Knicks. And once again, our sponsorship with the Knicks is always betting against them every single game, swallowing the points, swallowing the spread against the Knicks every single night. And I think we've only lost once, honestly, on that since our signed contract of our sponsorship like a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a full month ago. We've only lost like once, and it was a close loss. But, yeah, we were a little bit, worried with our sponsorship with the Knicks because they weren't going to play Kemba Walker anymore, and we need Kemba Walker on the floor for the Knicks to continue to be bad and lose games so we can bet against them, so y'all can bet against them and make money on them. Once again, the Knicks are single-handedly funding the operation of Takes by Fans over here, so that's why they are our sponsor. But we didn't love that they were having no Kemba Walker. But the Knicks last night just absolutely beefed it, lost by 15. Same old Knicks, decently competitive in the first half, blowing the game in the second half, not being able to close out in the 4th quarter, not being able to be competitive in the 4th quarter, and the Heat were -5.5 last night, and they win by 15. So I am pleased to announce that we have signed the remainder of the season, the New York Knicks, as our sponsors, folks. We just met, my lawyers, their lawyers, they sent over the new contract, and we have signed the New York Knicks as our sponsor for the remainder of the season, folks. So feel free to bet against the Knicks every single day for the rest of the year, folks. Every single game for the remainder of the season, and you will guaranteed win that bet. That is in the contract. We signed it up, folks. It will happen. So any New York Knicks game, you bet against them, you win. It's that simple, folks. So shout out to the Knicks, and love having a sponsor for the show, folks. Somebody believes in us over here, and it's the New York Knicks. Love it. All right, other New York Knicks news is that Derrick Rose, we thought Derrick Rose was going to play. That's what we thought. They were kind of confidently benching Kemba Walker for the remainder of the season because we were going to get Derrick Rose back, another guard helping out this Knicks team. But that wasn't the case. So I don't know what the hell Tom Thibodeau is trying to do here with this Knicks team. So Derrick Rose is going to undergo a minor procedure on his right ankle, and there is no timetable for his return yet. Another kind of big reason why we re-upped our contract sponsorship with the New York Knicks. They are still so gosh dang garbage, folks. Alrighty, so now that we've got that great news out of the way, folks, let's break down the games from last night, and let's start with the Heat and the Knicks from last night. Once again, one of our official picks last night, still betting on our sponsors last night, Heat -5.5, and they had absolutely no problem taking care of business, folks. Heat get the win 115-100. Jimmy Butler, 23 points, getting it done. Bam Adebayo, 16 points, 4 assists, 4 blocks, 16 rebounds. Kyle Lowry, 19 points, 4 assists, 9 rebounds at the 2. They moved Duncan Robinson to the 1. And once again, Duncan Robinson, an absolutely abysmal performance. Only played 13 minutes last night, 0 points, 0 of 5 from the 3. Once again, Duncan Robinson, I know his stats show good, and everybody loves to talk up Duncan Robinson, but this man is not a great player, folks. I'm not calling Duncan Robinson a great or consistent player. I'm over Duncan Robinson. He is the worst player on this Heat team, folks. I'm comfortable saying that. Duncan Robinson is the worst Heat player on this team. Off the bench, Tyler Hero doing his thing, 25 points, 7 rebounds. The man shot 4 of 9 from the 3 and was a plus 26 on the floor in 30 minutes. Absolutely wonderful. Everything else off the bench wasn't that great. We had Gabe Vincent, 6 points. Omar Yurtseven with 7 points and 2 rebounds in 13 minutes. That's pretty solid. And then Caleb Martin, 8 points, 2 rebounds, also coming off the bench in 16 minutes. So, all right, bench production here for the Heat. Still kind of needs a little bit more here by this Heat team to truly be contenders, championship contenders. Now, there is great news for this Heat team that Victor Oladipo could make his season debut as early as the second week of March. So February, March, next month, second week, we're looking at kind of, March 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, potentially making his debut. And this is really going to be what ties this Heat team all together. You put Victor Oladipo at the 2. You move Duncan Robinson down to the bench where Duncan Robinson is better at playing. I would like Duncan Robinson to come off the bench. Then we get Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero and like Caleb Martin. I mean, that's a nice kind of 3 trio that can all stretch the floor coming off the bench, helping out the Heat. So the Heat, we like what they are currently. We don't love them. We have fallen officially out of love with this Heat team at the current moment, but we still like them and we still are decently alrightly big on them. But Victor Oladipo really kind of takes this Heat team to the next level, and hopefully the man is still as good as we know the man can be. So the Heat get the win last night. And then for the New York Knicks, Julius Randle, another bad game. So Julius Randle, after the break, not able to kind of live up to what he was doing right before the All-Star break. Like the last 2.5 weeks for Julius Randle were really great games, like 30-plus points, 10 or more rebounds, getting it done, efficient, keeping the Knicks in the game. Unfortunately, still couldn't close out the games, but we were having good overall productive games by Julius Randle. But last night, 11 points on 13% shooting. He still had 8 assists and 8 rebounds, so we give him credit, but 11 points. We need more scoring here. The Knicks have lackluster scoring capabilities. We had RJ Barrett put up 46 points and 9 rebounds. That was absolutely fantastic. He shot 60%, 6 of 11 from the 3. Fantastic. But other than that, everything else was really garbage. Evan Fournier, 13 points, 3 of 10 from the 3, nothing clutch. Alec Burks, 12 points, 8 rebounds. So this was their new lineup without Kemba at the 1. We have Evan Fournier at the 1 and Alec Burks at the 2. So we still get Cam Reddish playing 15 minutes, Emmanuel Quickly playing 17 minutes, Obi Toppin played 13 minutes. I mean, they're still not even utilizing any of their other younger uprising pieces out here, still sticking with the things that keep you losing games. So once again, the New York Knicks are absolutely trash, and that's why we were so confidently and really ready to re-sign our partnership deal with this Knicks team. Bet against the Knicks every single time they step out onto a basketball floor. You understand me? A basketball court. So the Heat get the big win, 115-100. All right, next game up here is the Raptors at the Hornets, and the Raptors let us down big time last night, absolutely big time. This was one of the 2 games that we missed on last night. We took the Raptors -2, and Vegas these last couple of days, folks, these first 2 days back in the NBA, having these kind of sneaky trap bet lines. You know, the -2 with the Grizzlies, -2 against the Timberwolves. We thought that was great value. Grizzlies lose outright. Then we thought the Raptors -2 was great value, but they lose outright big time. Dominated fashion over this Hornets team, losing 125-93. So when we talk about betting today, let's kind of see if there's any kind of -2, -2.5 line. Let's kind of double down on that and double check and be so thorough with that to make sure that we are on the right side and not getting got by Big Vegas. Yes? So let's keep that in mind as we talk through betting today in the NBA's slate of games. But the Hornets, very well done. And now this is the Hornets team that the Vegas has been trying to force spread-wise for the last 3 weeks. Hornets having kind of lower spreads that probably should be than what they should have been against really good teams. So this is the Hornets team that Vegas has kind of always known they can be. We just need this Hornets team to be consistent. So let's start with the Hornets since they got the win last night. We had LaMelo Ball, only 13 points, and he didn't shoot well, 2 of 7 from the 3 and 31% from the field, but he had 6 assists and 5 rebounds. We had Terry Rozier doing his thing, 23 points, and then off the bench, our man, Kelly Oubre Jr., fantastic off the bench, 23 points. And another shout out to Montrezl Harrell, folks. He's a shorter big. He's only 6'7", but he's still a big at the end of the day. 20 points, 10 rebounds. Absolutely fantastic. We love Montrezl Harrell, folks. And once again, this is the season of bigs out here. Starting bigs, bench bigs, tall bigs, short bigs. If you're a big, you are dominating in today's NBA. Old big, young big, starting big, off the bench big, short big, tall big, red big, blue big. It does not matter, folks. If you are a big, you are getting it done. And Montrezl Harrell just got it done last night. Shout out to the big beefs out there. Big beef. Give me the big beef. 20 points, 10 rebounds by Montrezl Harrell. So that was all great. Mason Plumlee still, doing his thing. 8 points on only 4 shots. Shot 100%. Well done. 10 rebounds. Still efficient. PJ Washington in the starting lineup, 13 points. And we had Miles Bridges with 11 points, 7 assists, and 10 rebounds. So everybody was kind of on fire for the Hornets last night. We just need them to keep it up. Keep up this scoring pace. Keep up this kind of urgency. And this Hornets team may be able to make a little bit of noise in the back end of the season. All right, now for the Raptors. Here we go. Man, oh man, big-time disappointments by everybody besides the rookie? Is that right? Am I reading these numbers right? Did I watch the game right last night? Only Scotty Barnes getting great production. 28 points on 72% shooting on 18 shots, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals getting it done. So, Scotty Barnes, the rookie, the only reliable person last night. Pascal Siakam, our potential MVP, our MVP candidate, absolutely. Potential MVP winner, big time potential there. We kind of have him currently ranked 4th in our MVP ladder. Jokic, Embiid, DeMar DeRozan, and then Siakam. But we get Pascal Siakam, only 8 points on 23% shooting. What the hell is that? I don't think I've seen this bad for performance by Pascal Siakam this entire year. Letting us down. Fred VanVleet, he was questionable to go. He did go. Only 8 points on 25% shooting, a -40? A -40 on the floor? What the hell is that? Gary Trent Jr., 12 points? What the hell is that? Everybody else is floundering, and you flounder as well. You're supposed to be kind of our safety valve valve. Oh, Fred VanVleet's having an off night. Oh, Pascal Siakam's having an off night. Oh, no, there's no OG Anunoby. Oh, we got to turn to Gary Trent Jr. And the man put up 12 points? Come on. Nothing great off the bench. Thaddeus Young even letting us down 5 points, 5 rebounds. Usually we can rely on him a little bit, but everybody's so lackluster for the Raptors. First game back from the All-Star break, and we are truly disappointed in Nick Nurse for allowing that to happen. Usually he runs a tight ship, and this Raptors team should have been good to go, well rested and all that, but Fred VanVleet letting that three-point contest entry get to his head a little bit. A little bit of a three-point contest hangover from Fred VanVleet, even though he didn't even win it or even get to the second round of it. Do better. We'll give this Raptors team one benefit of the doubt. Big time blowout loss here, but I don't want to see this ever again. You understand me? We have you highly regarded. We got you at the 10th seed, and I'm glad we have you at just the 10th seed given that performance last night. So Raptors, if you want to move up any in the power rankings here, I better not see anything like I just saw last night. You understand me? I'm not playing around. I'm not playing around with this Raptors team. Especially what we just got by the Celtics. Come on. Raptors letting us down last night. Get the big old dominated loss, 125-93 to the Hornets. All right, next game up here is the Thunder at the Pacers. Pacers, folks, man, oh man, what the hell? I honestly feel if there's one fan base in the NFL and the NBA that I probably feel the most for, it's probably the Pacers, folks. I mean, another loss. The Thunder were on the back-to-back, no Luguentz Dort, and they still lose in overtime. I mean, man, oh man. Thunder get the win 129-125. Pacers can't get it done. Pacers trading Sabonis for Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield, and we thought this would help out the Pacers, but literally the Pacers and the Kings, they traded their superstars to be the same exact team that they were before the trade. So trading superstars for superstars to not get better, that's not a win by any team. These Kings and the Pacers are the same team that they were before the trade. It does not matter what superstars are on this team. They don't win games, the Pacers or the Kings. And that's exactly what we saw last night. Pacers can't get it done, losing close, losing in overtime, not being able to close out games. Exactly what the kind of knocks on the Pacers were with Sabonis the last 4 years. So Pacers are still the same Pacers. Kings are still the same Kings, folks, and it's unfortunate. So the Pacers last night, we had Tyrese Halliburton, only 14 points. And I don't understand why Tyrese Halliburton is like reluctant to shoot the ball here. Only taking 10 shots last night. That was like the sixth least, or the sixth most, I should say. So Tyrese Halliburton, can you take over this game? You are the superstar on this team. Take it over. 14 points. He had 11 assists, so we give him credit for the assists. But come on, just put up some points, please. We had Buddy Hield, 29 points, led the team in scoring by a mile. He shot 5 of 9 from 3, took 21 shots. That's the aggressiveness I wanted to see. And we know Buddy Hield is aggressive with the shot taking, absolutely. So shout out to Buddy Hield, a +9 on the floor as well. Get it done. Shoot the ball, Tyrese Halliburton. Who cares? Oh, what are you going to lose if you overshoot? Well, you're losing undershooting as well. And they lost without you before you even arrived. So you really can't make this Pacers team be any worse, honestly. So Tyrese Halliburton, get those shots up to like 25 plus a game, please. Same thing with Buddy Hield. I like the 21 that I saw last night, but let's bump that up to like 25. I need Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield to shoot 50 times between them every single game, please. We get Malcolm Brogdon, 15 points. Everything was just solid by this Pacers team like we know it is. Everybody in the starting lineup, double digits points-wise. We had 2 double-digit performers off the bench, so that's exactly what we want to see by any team, any given game. But once again, the Pacers, they just don't win. They had these numbers all the time. Sabonis had these numbers all the time, but they don't win games. It's the same Pacers team, folks, truly. Isaiah Jackson at the 5, 17.6 rebounds. O'Shea Brissett at the 4, 10 points, 15 rebounds. Buddy Hield, like we said, 29 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. All that was great by the starters. Off the bench, Jalen Smith, 16 points. Lance Stevenson, 16 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. Shout out to the bigs, folks. Lance Stevenson, playing the 4. But Lance Stevenson's only 6'5". All right, I take that back. I thought Lance Stevenson was like 6'7". I was going to count him a little bit of a big, but I take that back. Lance Stevenson, not an official big. But overall, still getting it done. at 31, 14 points, 4 assists coming off the bench. So Pacers, everything was good, just not great, and they lose the game. And then for the Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander doing his thing, 36 points, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 5 assists, 8 rebounds, doing everything in this game. No Luguentz Dort, so once again, Aaron Wiggins at the 3, and Andrew Wiggins doing nothing, or Aaron Wiggins doing nothing like our man, Luguentz Dort, 8 points, 4 rebounds. That's not Luguentz Dort's game. And then what else did we get? We had Trey Mann with 22 big old points. Isaiah Roby at the 5, 10 points, 11 rebounds, solid. And then off the bench, Aleksej Puko-Savetsky, 13 points. And we've been getting really good production by Puko-Savetsky coming off the bench ever since he's came back to playing for this Thunder team. So shout out to Puko-Savetsky coming off the bench. And then Theo Melendon coming off the bench as well, 14 points, 3 assists, and 4 rebounds. So the great performance by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, able to carry the Thunder over the Pacers, winning 129-125 in overtime. Pacers still lose the game. Classic. All right, next game up here, Rockets at the Magic, and finally the Magic doing what they're supposed to be doing, beating this Rockets team. I would have liked a little bit more of a blowout. We took the Magic minus 3.5. They cover that, but only win by 8. I want to see a dominant win here by the Magic against the worst team in the league, the Houston Rockets. So please, Magic, step it up a little bit. We give them credit for the win, but this is not kind of anything that gives us great confidence in betting the Magic when they face like a good team. But small steps. First game after the All-Star break, we can't knock it too much. So, for the Magic last night, Cole Anthony, 14 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, solid game overall. We had our man Franz Wagner, 13 points, 8 rebounds, just ish, but he shot 1 of 6 from 3, so not efficient there. He was a +8 on the floor, so we will give him big time credit for that, but we know we need Franz Wagner to kind of be the second leading scorer on this team. We had Wendell Carter Jr., a solid performance, 24 points, 12 rebounds. Coming off the bench was where the Magic shined last night. We had Chuma Okeke, 26 points, led the team in scoring, 9 rebounds and 4 assists and 3 steals to go along with that, a +27 on the floor. The man was a +27 on the floor in 31 minutes and only an 8-point win, the highest by a mile, folks. Big time shout out to Chuma Okeke for kind of winning the Magic the game last night. We had Terrence Ross, 10.6 rebounds, and then we had Gary Harris, 12 points, and RJ Hampton, 11 points and 4 assists and 5 rebounds. So everybody off the bench was getting it done. Everybody in the starting lineup was okay, good, but it all came together for a nice win by this Magic team. Well done. And then for the Rockets last night, we had Christian Wood doing his thing back at the 5, thank goodness, 21 points, 11 rebounds, and Jalen Green, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 4 steals. Everything else was lackluster like we know this Rockets team to be. Dennis Schroeder can't really do anything here, a -19 on the floor, the worst by a mile by this Rockets team. So Dennis Schroeder fumbled the big old bag that he could have potentially had this offseason and is now should be paid nothing. He should be paid the veteran minimum wherever he goes. How unfortunate. But the Magic get the win, 119-111. All right, next game up here, Spurs at the Wizards, and man, oh man, we ended up taking the Wizards +3, and it was close all game. They lose by 4 in double overtime, folks. So yes, this is an official loss, but one of those losses where it's like, really, is it a loss? It's a loss in the books. It's a loss in our bank account, absolutely. But our thinking, and that's what we do on the show. As long as our thinking is on par, we can, give ourselves the benefit of the doubt, for the most part. But unfortunate that the Wizards couldn't bring it home. Unfortunate that kind of Kyle Kuzma just couldn't kind of, be that leader and bring it home here. But the Spurs get the win, 157-153 in double overtime. So big time shout out to the Spurs team, still competing without Derek White. We had DeJounte Murray, 31 points, 14 assists, 13 rebounds. That's a triple-double for the man. Then we have Jakob Poeltl. And once again, shout out to Jakob Poeltl. Bigs, underrated. Nobody even knows who Jakob Poeltl is, folks. I should set out a poll. Do you know who Jakob Poeltl is, folks? And I would say a lot of y'all don't know who that is. Not that y'all don't, watch basketball or anything like that, just because it's the Spurs and they're irrelevant and who cares. Jakob Poeltl is top tier big in the league, folks. How crazy is that? Jakob Poeltl, bigs. This is a bigs world. This is what we're saying, folks. There's bigs everywhere everywhere. It's not just the top 3 teams have a good big, and that's why we're saying the bigs are ruling the league. It's every team, multiple bigs, starting, bench, good team, bad team, irrelevant team. They have a big somewhere on that roster. This is a bigs world, folks, okay? Bigs, folks. Man, oh man. Shout out to the bigs. Shout out to Jacob Poeltl. 28 points, 8 assists, 11 rebounds. Fantastic. Then we had Keldon Johnson, 32 points, 7 rebounds. Doug McDermott, 12 points. Lonnie Walker coming off the bench, 23 points. So everybody was scoring last night for the Spurs team, and especially kind of the stars of the Spurs team still able to win and be competitive without kind of their second best player in Derek White. Second, third best player. Put DeJounte Murray over Derek White. Put Jacob Poeltl over Derek White. But other than that, I take Derek White. So, man, oh man, Spurs, big time credit for them for winning last night. All right, and then for the Wizards, we had Kyle Kuzma. Really solid night. He led the team in scoring, 36 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds. Pretty efficient on 48%. Just couldn't kind of take over. Kyle Kuzma, this is really your team here. So go out and kind of be that shooter. Be that kind of guy that demands the ball late in the game, takes over, and wins the game. That's what we need to see out of Kyle Kuzma. I mean, he kind of, regards himself as that kind of number one on a team, takeover, killer instinct. His fans kind of, see him as that as well, but we have to start seeing it. Can we start seeing that? So Kyle Kuzma, great game overall. We still give him credit. Just want him to kind of take that next step. That's really it. We just need to see Kyle Kuzma kind of take that next step into kind of true all-star-ish category. Won't count him as a superstar, but count him as an all-star. So Kyle Kuzma, great night. KCP, 24 points, 4 assists, fantastic. Raul Neto, 22 points, they're big. Daniel Gafford, 17 points, 6 rebounds. Thomas Bryant coming off the bench, nothing great, only 6 points. But Denny Avdija, folks, love that. 14 points, 9 rebounds, absolutely fantastic. And Ish Smith with 10 points and 5 assists as well. So we love Denny Avdija here for this Wizards team, helping out scoring, and Kyle Kuzma trying his damnedest, but just came up a little bit short last night, goes into double overtime, anybody's game at that point, and the Spurs just had a little bit more in the tank and win 157-153. All right, next game up here is the 76ers at the Timberwolves. And, folks, we had to break our rule of not betting back games that include a back-to-back team playing back-to-back nights. Timberwolves playing back-to-back here, but we could not pass up the amazing value of the 76ers only minus 2.5 last night. That was easy peasy, so we had to break our rule. We don't do that lightly, folks. We don't just break our rule, every day or every other day, folks. It really takes something fantastic for us to break our rule of never betting on a back-to-back, and that's what we did last night, and we cashed in absolutely well. 31. The 76ers win by 31 points last night. They win 133-102. Who won the trade, folks? Y'all, this is your last chance to take back that wild take that the Nets won the trade of James Harden for Ben Simmons. Please stop that. The 76ers are absolutely fantastic, folks, with James Harden. James Harden, 27 points, 12 assists, 8 rebounds. Tyrese Maxey, 28 points, 4 steals, allowing him just to be the shooter, freeing up Tyrese Maxey. James Harden facilitating the floor. Joel Embiid, 34 points, 10 rebounds. This is a big three, folks. This is the new big three of the 76ers. This is a big three. I'm classifying this as a big three, and I don't care. James Harden, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey. And then you get Tobias Harris on top of that. Didn't have a great game offensively last night, 6 points on 22%, but still a plus 24 on the floor, getting it done defensively. We'll take that. Then we have Matisse Thybulle able to score as well, 11 points. And then we still have, Furkan Korkmaz, Georges Niang, Danny Green, Paul Millsap, Shake Milton coming off the bench here, folks. So the 76ers team, they can win. James Harden is fantastic here for the 76ers like he was fantastic for the Nets, and that's why I just don't understand why everybody was saying the Nets won the trade. That doesn't make any sense to me. James Harden was so great on the Nets. He was able to facilitate the floor. He was able to be the leader. He was able to score the points. There's nobody else on the Nets team that can do what James Harden can do. Ben Simmons can do a little bit of what James Harden can do besides the main thing, which is scoring the ball. I mean, James Harden putting up 27 points, shooting the ball from three. Joel Embiid able to shoot the ball from three, opens up the floor, opens up the spacing because James Harden is so deadly. He can drive, he can hit the three, he attracts double team attention, which once again frees up Joel Embiid, which frees up Tyrese Maxey, which frees up Tobias Harris, which frees up everybody on this 76ers team. There's a reason why we just named this team the NBA champions, folks. We did it at the All-Star break. We walked through the playoff tree at the current moment, and we crowned the 76ers the NBA champions, and we saw why last night. Absolute dominant, 133 points. Offense was absolutely fantastic. We are going to watch the offense. I'm going to watch the highlights here. Hopefully we don't get taken off of YouTube because we showed some basketball highlights. Hopefully not. So we're praying that doesn't happen. But we have to watch this team, folks. I want to watch the highlights of what the 76ers did last night because it's fantastic, folks. And then for the Timberwolves, all right, the big three. Did Anthony Edwards finally have a good game? Let's take a look. The big three of the Timberwolves on the back-to-back. We had D'Angelo Russell, 21 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. All right, game overall. Karl Anthony Towns, 25.7 rebounds. And then Anthony Edwards, 15 points on 1 of 6 from 3, 38% from the field. So we need all three, big three here for the Timberwolves and kind of 20-plus scoring a night. And Anthony Edwards still trying to figure out his way out of this scoring funk out here. And then everybody else besides the big three, we didn't get anything that great. We had Jaden McDaniels with 10 points, and that was it. Once again, the Timberwolves are too reliant on their big three to get them the win, and that's kind of the next step we need to see this Timberwolves team make if they want to kind of be considered as true playoff contenders. So Timberwolves still need a little bit of work, but well done for the 76ers last night getting the win 133-102. Now, here we go. Let's watch the highlights here from the game last night. And especially, I don't even know if there's any Timberwolves highlights here, but we're just focusing in on what the 76ers look like as a group. So here we go. James Harden making his Philadelphia 76ers debut. Here he is wearing number 1, just driving to the hole. 2 defenders on him, Anthony Edwards on him, and he drives right by him. And then here we get Tobias Harris passing out to James Harden in the corner 3, who cashes out. Then here we go. A missed shot here, tipping the rebound to James Harden, who's running the 3-on-3 fast break, who hits Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey right there. I think we backed up a little bit too much here, but just look at this, folks. James Harden, the true court vision that he has. He makes this pass from like the mid-court line. Look at this pass. Look at that pass, and then the finish at the rim by Tyrese Maxey. The man can score the ball. We don't need Tyrese Maxey to be the facilitator anymore. He can be, but we don't need him anymore because they've got James Harden. It frees up everybody to just score the ball now. It's so fantastic. Then James Harden feeding Joel Embiid down low, and that's just too easy. James Harden at the 3-point line, dribble, step back, cashing out. He can score off the rip like this as well. This is why it's so dangerous. He attracts so much attention defensively. He can do it all. He's so deadly, so dangerous. Here we go in the second half now. Look at that great defense, and here we get Tyrese Maxey, just an easy breakaway dunk like that, up big time in the second half. Here we go. James Harden with the ball in his hands again and just going to step back and shoot the 3, and we already know that cashes out. Here we go. Joel Embiid, nice little mid-range over Karl Anthony Towns. All that space. Look at all this space, folks. All this space Joel Embiid has. Why does Joel Embiid, the best big in the league, have all this space? Folks, we're getting to it right now. It's next highlight. I don't love the rewind system here, but look at all this space Joel Embiid has, daring him to shoot. They're daring this man to shoot the ball. Once again, I got to pause it at the right moment here. They're tripping. Here we go. Look at all this space, folks. All this room to work with, and he just rises up and shoots over Karl Anthony Towns, folks. Another big on big crime. We don't like to see no big on big crime, but that was some big on big crime. Joel Embiid over Karl Anthony Towns from the mid-range, just easy peasy, rises up, cashing out because there's so much talent on this 76ers team. And then here we go again. Joel Embiid from the three-point line again. Once again, pass by James Harden, who's not closing out on Joel Embiid from the three-point line. What are we doing out here? So much lethal ability, lethality, if you want to call it. James Harden, another step back three. You press him, he hits the three over you. You press him, he drives right by you. You press him, you try to double team him, he finds the open guy. This 76ers team is truly one of the best teams in the NBA, and absolutely hands down, no debate, won the trade between him and the Nets, folks. The 76ers and the Nets, the 76ers absolutely won the trade. No debate, no debate. So, 76ers absolutely magnificent last night, winning 133-102. Dominant performance. James Harden, Joel Embiid. Man, oh man, what a combo, what a duo, and I can't wait to see some rings on these two guys' fingers. Yes, sir, I can imagine a ring right here. Imagine a little bit of a ring right here. Get that ring on here. Oof, man, oh man, that's going to be a nice-ass hand with the ring on it. Woof, woof. Alrighty, let's do a little bit of we are at halftime with this Celtics-Pistons game, and we get the Celtics only up by 2, folks, only up by 2 at halftime, up 56-54. So this Pistons team sticking to it. We'll see how they come out in the second half here. We know the Celtics good defensively and can kind of, win the game in the second half here. So we'll see. Once again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So far, the Pistons keeping up, but do the Celtics just run away in the second half defensively? We get any highlights here from the second half on our Twitter feed, or do we have to go searching? Here we go. What is this? All right, here we go. We get Cade Cunningham, it looks like. A nice little pass, cashing out 3. All righty. I just want to watch some Celtics highlights. We still give credit to the Pistons, but, we said, yesterday that they have their kind of work cut out for them if they want to try to make a playoff push, which is definitely possible and plausible, and we would love to see it, but, it's, not currently very likely, but it could happen. So let's see. We got any Marcus Smart highlights? Why are we getting no Marcus Smart highlights? That's why they're only up by 2, because we're not getting a Marcus Smart highlight. Marcus Smart is fantastic. Let's see if we can quickly... let's see what the box score is going on currently for the Celtics team. Who's getting it done? We get Jason Tatum, 17 points at the half, 6 assists, 7 rebounds already. Man, oh man. Jaylen Brown, 9 points, but only on 27% shooting, letting us down. And then Marcus Smart, only 5 points on 28% shooting. He had a 3, but he's got 4 assists so far, so not bad by Marcus Smart. Derek White, 3 points on 3 shots coming off the bench. All right. So they're right in there. Robert Williams, 8 points, 5 rebounds at the break. Shout out to him. All right, and then who's getting it done for the Pistons? Jeremy Grant? It's not even Jeremy Grant. 4 points on 12% shooting. Jeremy Grant, folks, man, oh man, this man needs to get right. He needs to get right, folks. He's not acting like the number one option on this Pistons team. We get Cade Cunningham with 9 points and 1 rebound at the half as well. All right, so come on, Jeremy Grant, let's get it going a little bit better, shall we? Celtics up 2 at the half. Need them minus 12, folks. Need them minus 12. All right, we get 3 more games from last night, so let's close it up here. Here we go. Next game up is the Pelicans at the Suns, and the Suns on the back-to-back can't get it done. Pelicans blow them out 117-102. Well done for the Pelicans last night. We had CJ McCollum, 32 points, 4 assists, and 6 rebounds. Valanciunas at the 5, 18 points, 17 rebounds. Bigs. Brandon Ingram, 28 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. And I'm ready to call this big 3 for the Pelicans as well. Valanciunas, Brandon Ingram, and CJ McCollum. That's the big 3 here for the Pelicans, and they're getting it done. We had Tony Snell coming off the bench with 9 points. Jackson Hayes still in the starting lineup. We love it. 9 points, 6 rebounds. And then Devontae Graham coming off the bench with 11 big old points. So trusting the big 3, and then having, Jackson Hayes, Tony Snell, Devontae Graham. We still got Willie Hernandez-Gomez still coming off the bench as well here for the Pelicans. So some solid play here by the Pelicans, and we can see them try to make their play for a playoff push here. Currently have this Pelicans team 12th in the Western Conference, and they are about just a game and a half back from cracking that play-in tournament of the 10th seed. So we are rooting for this Pelicans team. Love what we saw, and well done for the first game after the All-Star break. Well done. And then for the Suns, once again, we are nervous without no Chris Paul for the next 6 to 8 weeks. We get Devin Booker still playing the one. 30 points, 5 assists, that was well done, but then we just need scoring to come from somewhere, folks. DeAndre Ayton put up 20 points, 5 rebounds, that was great, but then everybody else so lackluster scoring the ball. Cameron Johnson, 15 points on 36% shooting. Jay Crowder, 12 points, which is kind of what he is. We saw him, at 17, 2 nights ago, which was good, and that was kind of above average, so we know Jay Crowder can't really keep up that level of production, but then nothing else in double digits. We had McCall Bridges on 8 points and Landry Shaman with 8 points. Everything else was kind of like 2, not good. So we're missing an offensive piece by Chris Paul. We're missing the point general, kind of making it easier for everybody to score here. Devin Booker's still a good passer, but not like Chris Paul. So we are big time nervous for the Suns team until Chris Paul comes back or until Cameron Payne comes back and can run the point. Once again, we saw Cameron Payne run the point decently well in the playoffs last season when Chris Paul was a little kind of banged up. It was getting us great production, but until he comes back, the Suns team, I think we're staying away from betting them consistently. And I think the Pelicans were getting like 7 points last night. That was some great value. Absolutely, we missed it. Unfortunate. All right, so the Pelicans, man, oh man, well done, and I really want to see them try to make a run here. Pelicans get the win, 117-102, and can you imagine win if Zion comes back? I mean, we don't even know what the hell is looking for him, coming back-wise or even wanting to play for the Pelicans or anything like that, but if you get Zion on this team and then you stretch the big 3 into a big 4, yeah, that's a squad I would love to see. So, Pelicans get the win, 117-102. All right, next game up here is the Mavs at the Jazz, and a game that we bet on last night, Mavs plus 5.5, and it hits by half a point. So once again, the half a point hook working for us. We love when it works for us. Obviously hates when it works against us, but it worked for us last night. Love the half a point hook, and the Mavs lose by 5, but we had 5.5, baby, and the Mavericks. A little disappointed that they couldn't really kind of close it out in the fourth quarter. Mavericks, I believe they were winning at halftime, having nice lead all kind of throughout the game. But in the fourth quarter, they kind of, floundered a little bit. And that's kind of, a benefit and a big green flag to the Jazz. We don't love their personnel. We know they've got a lot of talent on the team. We just don't love the overall personnel of the squad. But they've got some nice leadership and they are able to close out games. That's probably the biggest thing about the Jazz is that they are able to win in the fourth quarter. So, Jazz get the win 114-109 over the Mavericks. For the Jazz last night, Donovan Mitchell was on his bullshit. 33 points on 7 of 12 from the 3, 5 assists and 2 rebounds. We had Mike Conley, 15 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. Great guard play. Rudy Gobert down low, 14 points, 17 rebounds, but still a -5 on the floor. Once again, the Mavericks outside shooters, Rudy Gobert in a win, a -5 on the floor. Not the greatest look by Rudy Gobert, but still an overall good game offensively for him. And then we have Bojan Bogdanovic doing his thing, 18 points. We'll take that absolutely. Off the bench, nothing that great from the Jazz. Jordan Clarkson doing his thing, 13 points on 13 shots. We had Hassan Whiteside only playing for 14 minutes, 2 points, 8 rebounds. Once again, a big, we'll take those boards, absolutely. A +10 on the floor. That was actually the second highest, given he only played 14 minutes, but still a +10. We'll take it. So shout out to Hassan Whiteside, shout out to Jordan Clarkson. Getting it done. No Rudy Gay last night for the Jazz bench, and they're still able to get the win. All right, and then for the Mavericks last night, we had Luka Doncic a little bit, a little bit locked up throughout the entire game, and especially, the fourth quarter. Luka Doncic, 23 points. He had 11 assists and 7 rebounds, but he shot 33%, -16 on the floor. Nothing that great. Dwight Powell at the 5, 22 points, 7 rebounds. The second leading scorer was the 5. Rudy Gobert, getting smoked by him a little bit. And then everybody else just kind of floundered for the starters. Davis Bertans, loved the pickup here for this Mavericks team. 17 points, 5 of 8 coming off the bench from 3. I mean, the man put up 17 points in 18 minutes. I mean, Davis Bertans is exactly what this Mavericks team is. I would love to see Davis Bertans in the starting lineup, but we'll see if that ever happens here. But overall, Davis Bertans getting healthy minutes. Love that, love that, love that. Davis Bertans is what the Mavericks are. So shout out to that. And then Spencer Dinwiddie as well, the new pickup, 20 points coming off the bench. So Mavericks making the right move at the trade deadline for getting rid of Porzingis. They don't want the big anymore. They just live and die by the outside shooting. And unfortunately, they died by it a little bit last night, losing by 5, 114-109. So Jazz get the win. All right, and then the last game of the night, Clippers at the Lakers, and LeBron, folks. LeBron had the chance, and we told you to stay away from this game betting. We weren't going to bet on, two of these bad teams, and it was a 3-point game, close all the way throughout. Clippers had a big lead, then they squandered it. Lakers took the lead, and then they couldn't close out in the fourth quarter. So definitely glad we stayed away from this game. What was it, like Lakers -3 or something like that? They lose outright. No good value, really, either way you sliced it. So Clippers get the win 105-102, but LeBron had multiple opportunities to win this game. First one here is when they were down only 1 point, 10 seconds left, LeBron James with the ball in his hands. You've got to take the shot. The three, the driving layup, whatever it is, you're only down by 1. Take the final shot. LeBron James, we know LeBron James is clutch, folks. LeBron James is one of the clutchest players in the NBA. And that whole narrative that LeBron James is not clutch is just from Skip Bayless just being, I don't want to call him a hater because I never love that term when people talk about sports kind of analysis like that. They're haters and all that. But we know Skip Bayless with LeBron James. We all know their relationship, right? So that's just Skip being Skip there. But LeBron is clutch, folks. Not as clutch as Damian Lillard, obviously, but he's like third clutch in the league at the current moment. Absolutely. So the fact that LeBron James didn't take the shot here, down 1 point with 10 seconds left in the game, and we get LeBron James dribbling to the 3-point line, drawing the double, passing it to Carmelo Anthony, and then Carmelo Anthony taking this deep as heck wild 3-pointer, not even really in rhythm. Deep as heck with still like 8 seconds on the clock here. Russell Westbrook couldn't grab the offensive rebound because the brick was so bad. It went off like it was short and went off the front of the rim. So I don't love the pass by LeBron James. I want LeBron James taking this shot. I hate what Carmelo Anthony did. And then unfortunately Russell Westbrook just misjudged the rebound. And then they foul the Clippers, now down by 3. LeBron James with 0.7 seconds left, going to get the inbound pass here from the corner and misses the kind of fadeaway 3-pointer to tie the game and to send it into overtime. A great look, but LeBron could not cash it. So, man, oh man, LeBron James, not great, missing this shot. The Lakers really needed to win this game. LeBron needed to kind of win the game when they were only down 1 to kind of make the entire narrative that this Lakers team is falling apart and crumbling. To kind of, sweep that narrative under the rug at least a little bit. But now this loss piled on top of LeBron James not being aggressive, not taking the shot. This is just going to exacerbate the Lakers' quote-unquote dysfunction at the current moment because LeBron James wanted to trade Russell Westbrook at the trade deadline. Rob Pelinka says no. Then they got Clutch Sports involved and all that. And it's just a big mess so far with this Lakers team. So a big, huge loss last night. LeBron James couldn't play hero, and the Clippers get the win by 3, 105-102. Clippers winning without no Paul George is fantastic. Great work for this Clippers team off the bench. But first we had Reggie Jackson, 17 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Solid work. Terrence Mann, 19 points, 10 rebounds. Fantastic. We had Marcus Morris, 10 points as well. He's usually pretty consistent like that. But then this bench, folks, man, oh man. Isaiah Hartenstein, 11 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds. Luke Kennard, 18 points, 6 rebounds. Amir Coffey, our man, 14 points, 2 assists. And Robert Covington, 10 points, 7 of rebounds coming off the bench. So, man, oh man, this Clippers team is deep with role players. That's all they've got, really. Their superstars are out. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, obviously. But these are all role players right here. Reggie Jackson is the biggest name that they have. Everybody else is Marcus Morris up there with Reggie Jackson as biggest name, but everybody else are just role players on this team, and they all are kind of getting it done. Shout out to Ty Lue for being a good coach, keeping this Clippers team decently competitive throughout this season without Paul George. So big time credit deserved to this Clippers team, and well done for them getting the win last night. All right, for the Lakers, we had LeBron James, 21 points, 11 rebounds, a little bit light overall, shooting 33%. Russell Westbrook, 18 points, no turnovers. Shout out to that, a +2 on the floor. Where's everybody kind of, praising Russell Westbrook? Yeah, it's a good game overall. One assist definitely could be higher, but, no turnovers, and that's the biggest knock on Russell Westbrook. So a positive on the floor. We got to give the man credit. No Anthony Davis, so they start with Dwight Howard last night, 14 points, 16 rebounds. Pretty solid night by Dwight Howard. I'll give him credit for that. And then off the bench, Carmelo Anthony, 18 points, and Talen Horton-Tucker, 16 points. But coming up short in the clutch, unfortunate. And, that's a given. No leadership on the team. LeBron, he's not the leader anymore because he's kind of vocalizing his distrust in the Lakers organization, wanting to trade everybody, and that's going to leave a bad taste in everybody's mouth. So this Lakers team really could have, whitewashed it all away by winning last night. And they didn't. So watch for this Lakers team's dysfunction to continue to get worse and worse on a daily basis, folks. It is not looking good. Not looking good at all. Oh, and then the last story here, quickly. Not good for the Clippers. So they got the win, but now we're getting not great news. Clippers coach Ty Lue said Paul George is, quote, feeling better after his MRI result, but he will, quote, need more time. He asked if Paul George could still return this season. Lue said he's not sure. So we definitely need Paul George at minimum for this Clippers team if they want to kind of make a playoff push and potentially get a little deep in the playoffs. They can't win a ring with just Paul George, but they may be able to get a little deep, maybe have an upset here and there if they have Paul George. But no Paul George, no chance at a ring, no chance at a deep playoff run, no chance at an upset, no chance at a first round win playoff series. So we need Paul George, but does not seem like we're getting him anytime soon. Not good. Alrighty, that was all the NBA we had to go over from last night. Now let's see what we have on deck tonight in the NBA. We get the start of the third quarter so far for the Celtics game. They are up 3 at the current moment, up 60-57. This is where they win it second half. Hopefully they can cover the 12 here. But we've got other games on. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games on tonight starting at 7:40. Pistons just hit another bucket. Only down 1 now. All right, shout out to the Pistons. But we'll see how they close out the game. All righty, folks, here we go. What do we got on tap tonight? Let's see if we can make a little bit of money tonight. Celtics back up 3. Bingo, bango. Yes, sir. man, and the live betting, folks, I mean, it's just so crazy as you can live bet. The spreads changing constantly and all that. It's crazy to watch. It's intoxicating. It's enticing. I'll tell you that, folks. But you got to kind of have a little bit of restraint. Got to have a little bit of restraint, folks. Hold yourself back, and we find ourselves holding ourselves back, a little bit when we look at some live betting. Alrighty, here we go. The games on tonight. Let's get this live bet. I don't even want to see it in view anymore. I can't even see it in view. All right, here we go. Raptors at the Hawks. First game up here. Raptors on the back-to-back, and Raptors letting us down big time last night. Gonna stay away from this game, but let's see who's all in and out here. Fred VanVleet, a game-time decision. Pascal Siakam, a game-time decision, and OG Anunoby is out. So I would expect Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam to not play tonight. With the Hawks, we get John Collins out, Lou Williams out. All right, so some of their good players are out. We're going to stay away from this game. If no Fred VanVleet and no Pascal Siakam is kind of confirmed, Hawks -5 would be a fantastic bet, but I would assume it would go up a little bit more at that point. But either way, it is a back-to-back, and the fun is over, folks. The fun, we do have to declare the fun is over. We've been taking teams willy-nilly, selecting really, game 1 back, night 1 back in the NBA. We took every single game, went 5 of 7. Last night, we tried to kind of take the majority of the games that weren't on the back-to-back, and we went, what did we go officially? 4 of 6 last night. Yeah, 4 of 6 last night, but all right, the fun is over. The grand reopening is over in the NBA. So we're going to get back to our rules. We're going to get back to only taking the best value and hitting from that point. So back to reality, if you will. So we're staying away from Raptors and Hawks. Raptors on the back-to-back. Next game up, Spurs at the Heat. Both these teams on the back-to-back, so definitely staying away from this one as well. Everybody good to go for the Heat and for the Spurs. Pretty much good to go. So, but either way, Spurs plus 8.5, Heat -8.5. No, thank you. Shout out to the Spurs for playing well, and the Heat. We'll see if they can cover another big spread. They won by 15 last night. Big time good win. But back-to-back, staying away from it. All right, next game up here, Grizzlies at the Bulls, and oh boy, we have our 2-point spread. Oh boy, Grizzlies -2, Bulls +2. These 2-point spreads have been tripping us up these last 2 days, folks. So let's see if we can break the curse of the 2-point spread disaster. So, Grizzlies -2, Bulls +2. We get Dylan Brooks out for the Grizzlies, and for the Bulls, everybody is good to go. Just the usual suspects out of Alex Caruso and Lonzo Ball. So, Bulls getting it done +2 at home. Grizzlies floundered their first game back. But, I would say Grizzlies -2 was good value, but we said that before. Swallowing points on these 2-point spreads is not the way. We're going to go Bulls +2 here. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, MVP. Everybody's talking about him. He's got to live up to that standard. Grizzlies, a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth over their last performance here. Hopefully they can get it back. But I'm going to take the +2 points here by the Bulls. Vegas on these 2-point spreads. Hopefully we can kind of, beat them at their own game here. And we're going to take the Bulls +2 at full strength. This is a good Bulls team, folks. Give us the +2. All right, next game up here is the Wizards at the Cavs. Wizards +7.5, Cavs -7.5. Wizards on the back-to-back that just went into double overtime. If Darius Garland is playing, I think we can endorse. We won't officially take it, but I will officially endorse you guys to take the Cavs -7.5 here. Wizards on the back-to-back. We don't love that, but they just had double overtime. They're going to be tired, and they're on the road here, so they had to take the flight and all that. So, Cavs -7.5. They should be able to cover, but we need Darius Garland. If they don't have Darius Garland, I won't endorse it and all that, but let's see the ins and outs here. For the Cavs, we get Rondo is out, Karis LeVert is out, and Darius Garland is still out. So we cannot endorse the Cavs -7.5. That's truly unfortunate. And what the hell is going on with Karis LeVert and Darius Garland being out this much? Y'all just had a week off. Damn. And for the Wizards, Kristaps Porzingis is still not ready to make his debut. So, stay away from this game heavy. No, nothing good either way you slice it. All right, next game up here is the Nets at the Bucks. Nets +9.5, Bucks -9.5 here. The Nets are on the road, so Kyrie Irving can play, and for some reason, again, Ben Simmons is not ready to make his debut. So that's trash. So Kyrie Irving's good to go, and then for the Bucks, we get Brook Lopez is still out, and Pat Connaughton is out as well. So their depth ability at the guard is going to be a little lackluster, but at the end of the day, the Bucks are going to be dominating down low. Kyrie Irving can do whatever he wants. It's not going to be enough here. We're going to swallow 9.5 points. No fear of big spread. Yes, sir. Bucks at home, -9.5. The Nets have nothing to compare with the Bucks beef, and we know this is a bigs world. We'll swallow the 9.5 with the bigs. All right, the last game of the night here, Kings at the Nuggets, and this is a back-to-back series. Another rule that we have, this isn't a back-to-back game, but they just faced each other in their last game 3 nights ago. So, Kings +8, Nuggets -8 here. We gave too much credit for the Kings taking them +4. They lost by, what did they lose by? 15, 18 points? Yeah, 18 points. Now it's Kings +8 here. We're going to stay away from it because we don't bet back-to-back series. But for the Kings, everybody's going to go besides Terrence Davis is out and Raquan Holmes is a game-time decision. And for the Nuggets, everybody's going to go for them. But back-to-back series, we stay away from it. You got film. You're familiar with each other. You know how they play. Nuggets should win this game. Do they cover the 8? Most likely, Kings really let us down. Sabonis maybe has a good night, maybe keeps it close. Sabonis, he can keep games close, be competitive, still lose at the end of the day. But back-to-back series, a little bit too much to swallow here for this Nuggets team as well. We'll stay away from it in total. So we've got 2 good bets going here, 2 confident bets here. Bulls +2, Bucks -9.5 tonight. And man, oh man, we're checking in on the live score here, and the Celtics are now down. Hopefully they can kind of reclaim the lead here and get back on track here. Hopefully the defense can start locking up. But the Pistons, I like what they've shown us so far to be this competitive, this late into the game. That's big time great by this Pistons team. So maybe we've got to just give them more credit, more respect moving forward. But we'll have all that tomorrow for you, where we take the entire game into consideration, see how the box score played out and all that. So that is going to do it for us today, folks. Once again, our bets tonight, Bulls +2, Bucks -9.5. Loving both of those. Unfortunately, we once again cannot get to our NFL final thoughts on every single team. We are looking to start that any moment, folks. Whenever we have time in the show, we will start that off. We got to kind of move quick because we got the draft prospects to talk about in April. We've got the USFL tipping off in April as well. So, we've got to really turn on the Jets here on the show, or we're not going to get to anything, and that would suck. But, we may have to cut one thing out. Maybe not looking at draft prospects. I do want to talk to USFL, but it's not going to be televised, so maybe we don't do that. But we will figure it out, folks. That's what we do. We've got no problem, folks. We have plenty of things to talk about. There's plenty of things to talk about. We're here, hour and a half, hour 40, every single day. No worries, folks. We will always still be here with plenty to talk about. We will never be worried about that. It's just, what can we get to? What do we have to cut? All right. That is going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We're back live tomorrow, noon Eastern, doing it all over again and seeing how our bets played out, folks. Once again, 9 of 13 over the last 2 days here, folks, and looking to go 2 for 2 tonight. 2 for 2. I know we missed 2 Tuesdays, 2, 22, 22. We missed a Tuesday, but we got 2 on a Saturday. Yes? Yes. Got 2, Bulls +2, Bucks -9.5. That's what we're rocking with tonight. Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Let's go Celtics. We got to swallow 12, folks, and this is what we say, hate betting the big spreads, but they can play out. Unfortunately, we got to have a 14-point turnaround real quickly, dickily, but we're hoping for it. We still believe the Celtics can pull it off. All right, folks, we are out of here. We're back tomorrow live, noon Eastern, doing it all over again. Have a great one. Make a little bit of money tonight, and we will see you back tomorrow when we all cash it in. Yes, 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 folks. All righty, we are out of here. Have an absolutely great